Okay, so there's actually a problem with our deployed application right now, which is that the mutations are not working properly. So a mutation is where we try to send some data to the API, to the Next.js API. And you can see that I'm getting this weird error, which is only happening when it's actually deployed on the server. And yeah, what's going on here? Because the error message is not very useful. It like unexpected non-white space character. Okay, so yeah, that's not a very useful error. And to actually go and debug into what's happening, I had to go and look at the OpenNext documentation, look at the Next.js documentation as well, and also for TRPC, and try and work out what the root cause is. So the root cause here is that this thing here, the unstable HTTP batch streaming link, is not supported in our current setup. So in order to understand this, we have to understand quite a few things, right? So we understand mutations. Mutations is basically sending stuff to the server, right? Send data to server, okay? So that's the first thing we have to understand. Then what is a batch mutation, right? Because this is the unstable HTTP batch link, right? So a batch mutation just basically means, if you can look up here into the batch link, is it batches an array of individual operations to send them. So it basically means that if there's a lot of optimization stuff happening by TRPC here, but if it receives several requests, it will actually batch them together and send them to the server in one. A little bit similar to how GraphQL is working, right? But it's so it's going to batch requests together and send them. So what is batching? It's batches an array of operations into a single HTTP request. Okay, so you have to understand batching. That's what batching is, right? So then what is stream, right? So streaming means that terminating link batches and sent to. This is another optimization on top of batching, which means that doesn't wait for all responses to be ready and stream the responses as soon as they become available, right? So now we actually kind of understand everything to do with what this function is doing. Why is it not working? So the reason why it's not working is because streaming, the ability to stream to and from the server, is not by default enabled in OpenNext. So you can see that streaming support in OpenNext is extremely experimental and it could break any time, essentially, right? So there is a way to get this working, which is to use this special build command to enable streaming, and then you also have to tell OpenNext to enable this experimental feature. But it's probably not a good idea. You probably don't really want to use this optimization. So from the TRPC point of view, you can use it. It's fine. It should work, which is why it's part of the T3 stack. But in terms of using it for OpenNext, it's not advisable to turn streaming on, right? So we can just, instead of using the batch stream link, we can just use this instead, right? So if we use this link instead, or this is the only change we have to make, is to, instead of using the unstable stream link, then we use this one instead. So we just make this change. And that's all we have to do. That's a solution to the problem. And now I'm just going to build and deploy again, and we should see that it works. So yeah, this is something I was mentioning in the previous video, which is why in some cases this stack is not very beginner friendly, in that it's very nice to use, and in order to use it, you don't really have to understand exactly what is batching, what is streaming, but it helps to know that it is happening under the hood, and then be able to find and investigate problems. Yeah, like just a kind of warning that, as I was already saying, like even though TRPC and OpenNext is doing a lot of the undifferentiated heavy lifting for you, handling stuff like authentication, batching, all this kind of stuff for you, there are a few gotchas in using this stack, and it can get quite confusing and difficult to debug when you're using all these components together if you don't understand exactly what it is they're doing under the hood. So yeah. Okay, so now this is deployed. We can go back to our app. And if I clear the console log, we should now see if I put hi here and submit, then we no longer see this error message, and it's actually getting updated. You can see that the mutation is working. Let's put hello. Okay. So yeah, you can see that error is now fixed. So to summarize in this video, we have fixed the TRPC mutations so that now data is correctly being updated on the server. The fix is possible by just changing to avoid using this unstable HTTP stream link, which is not supported by OpenNext. If you are interested in getting this unstable stream link, if you really need that, I was able to get it working by turning on the experimental features of OpenNext as an alternative solution, although I don't think it's the correct solution for a production application. But if you are interested in seeing that implementation, then let me know, and I can maybe provide a video or at least a Git gist or something to show how you can get this unstable batch stream link working as well.